MISL titles. His team has been up and down this year, but they look like they're peaking. They're coming at you right at the right time with the playoffs just around the corner. And they've got league MVP Adalto Neto back from injury. Meanwhile, Don Diambra and the Kixx, well, they're just scrapping for their postseason lives. It's the MISL's I-95 rivalry, and it's next on Fox Soccer Channel. From First Mariner Arena in downtown Baltimore, Maryland, it's the MISL Game of the Week on Fox Soccer Channel as the Baltimore Blast hosts the Philadelphia Kixx. We're so glad you're with us tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Tomash, along with Gary Stein. We're glad you're with us tonight for the MISL Game of the Week. What a rivalry we have tonight, Gary. These two teams have gone at it for the last 12 years. It's always exciting to watch.
You know what? 90 miles separates these two teams, and they win championships all the time. Philly's won 2, including last year. The Blast have won 3 out of the last 5 years. They're going in opposite directions right now, but this rivalry is hotter than ever.
Now, Baltimore's in the exact same position they were after 23 games a year ago, and the last thing they want to see is the repeat of last year's Boldo job at the end of the season. They got to win tonight.
With one major difference, though. They're healthy this year. They've got Adalto Neto in the lineup. Salenza is in the lineup as well. Those two were not last year, and it's a big difference for the Baltimore Blast.
Speaking of difference makers, how about Michele Millwood? What a difference does this guy make?
He's huge. I mean, you just take a look at him. 6'2", 194 pounds, and he's got long strides. He creates space between himself and the defender. The booming left foot. 5th in the league in scoring at 64 points on the season. He is definitely a difference maker for the Blast.
MVP of the championship series 2 years ago, the last time the Blast won it. But he's not the only cog in this offense, because we mentioned Adalto Neto, former league MVP, back from a rash of injuries.
Game changer when he's healthy, and he's healthy right now for the Blast. 5'10", 178, so not much size, but hey, he plays offense and defense. Was the league's MVP a couple of years ago. 36 goals, 22 assists then. Missed the first 11 games this year, but he's back and healthy for the Blast.
And he will be a handful tonight. Don't let his small size deceive you. He is a guy who can really play this game. Now, for the Kixx, we talked about it. They've got the fewest games remaining in the league. They need to win almost every one of them if they're going to get into the postseason party.
Well, if they lose tonight, there'll be 4 losses behind Monterey and the New Jersey Ironmen, and that's going to be about it for them. They're the second worst road team in the league. The Blast are the best home team in the league, so it should be an interesting match.
Key players for the Kixx. It starts with the head man, Don Diambra. Not just a player, not just a coach, he's both, and he's good at both.
Hasn't slowed down at the age of 35, and he is Mr. Kixx, one of only 2 players in franchise history to be here for all 12 years. 51 points, tied for 8th in the year, a coach, a player, a leader, the inspiration for Philadelphia.
Well, the Kixx are definitely going to take their keys from Don Diambra, but he is not the only guy they have. They have some guys who that can make things very interesting.
Well, when healthy, John Barry Newsom is probably the best target man in the league. Big size, 6'1", 205, soccer standards, that's pretty big. The former Bermuda Male Athlete of the Year, the former MISL Rookie of the Year, and he gives the Blast fits all the time.
And he knows all about indoor soccer. His dad, John Newsom, played for the MISL's first dynasty, the New York Arrows. He is going to be a handful tonight for the Philadelphia Kixx and the Baltimore Blast as they renew the I-95 rivalry right here on Fox Soccer Channel. It's the MISL Game of the Week. Gary and I will come right back with the lineups and the kickoff. It's the Kixx against the Blast. Stick around. It's all coming your way from First Mariner Arena right after this timeout.
As they like to get off to a good start, but Philly's doing a good job staying with them man-to-man in the corners.
Still looking for our first goal of the night. Will it come from the Blast? It's Ryan Pierce. Again, they try Neto in the corner.
Neto likes the ball here. He likes to look across the field. There it is.
Pierce for the goal, just like you said. Boy, he sees the field, flicked it there, and a nice finish by the rookie Pierce.
And that is the first ever goal for Ryan Pierce in his MISL indoor soccer career. But it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, let me tell you. But it wouldn't have happened unless Neto set him up and found him in the box.
Only his 6th shot of the year, you mentioned. That one goes in. He'll remember that one. Let's take a look at it so he can remember.
And there's the finish, and a beautiful cross by Neto to find Pierce not only open but in stride, and allowed him to use the back of the foot and find the net past the keeper. And Ryan Pierce celebrating.
More where the place is rocking because the Blast is up 2-0, and they've got a kick in deep in the corner, looking to add to that lead. They brought in reinforcements for tonight's game. Those jerseys are going to be auctioned off to benefit families who have wounded servicemen and women overseas. And of course, our thoughts go out to all of our men and women serving our country proudly and bravely. And there's a second goal by Baltimore off the set piece. It's Mike Lookingland with a goal.
And you know, that's an area where the Blast need to improve, and they did right there. Robbie Aristodemo triggered it in right inside the box, and the Blast finished to go up 4-0. Coming into the game, the Blast were -5 in this category, but Looking Land, one of the better young defenders in the league, deposits it into the back of the net, coming wide open inside the box. And the Blast, when they start quick, they often win the game, and they're on their way to do that here.
Looking Land's 9th goal of the year comes off the set. It's a cruel game, whether indoor or outdoor. Game of inches. Here's Newsom.
Nice defense by Garcia to deny Revio inside the box and allow Segu to make that play.
Getting to the end of the first quarter.
Philly now coming with a little pressure, but just not enough. Segu will have time.
Plenty of time. And Pat Morris had time to read that.
Oh, nice idea.
Pappas, only a few seconds left. I don't think Philly can get anything done. And the horn sounds to end the first quarter before Tony Donatelli can get on the end of that one and do anything with it for Philadelphia. So a great first quarter. 1 quarter in the books at First Mariner Arena in Baltimore. The Blast leads the Philadelphia Kixx 4-0. Stick around on the other side of this break. Gary and I'll be back with second quarter action. If you like the first, you'll love the second. There's more of the same. You're watching the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week exclusively on Fox Soccer Channel. The Blast leads the Kixx 4-0. Fast and frenetic action. More coming your way after this. Stick around.
Needed at that time.
Aristodemo to Wakefield. Neto flips it back nicely to Wakefield. Inside the three-point line, sets up Cabral for the easy deuce. Boy, it doesn't get drawn up much better than that.
It all starts with Adalto Neto for the Blast, and many times it finishes with Denison Cabral. The only difference here is Wakefield got in the middle of it, but you may never see a prettier setup by both Neto and Wakefield, and the excellent finish by Cabral. And that's Blast soccer right there as they share it. You'll see the end of it here. Wakefield with the left. Cabral finds him in stride. The keeper had committed. There's nothing Peter Pappas can do about that. And right now, the Blast are just all over in Philadelphia.
But you're right. Neto's little flick in the midfield is what really sprung Wakefield, who made a nice move on the give and go, and Cabral finishes.
You know, it's not all flash and dash in the world of sports. Sometimes it's just some moxie and patience, and that's exactly what you see.
Well, the Blast lead the Kixx here in the second quarter, 6-0, but Philly with a good chance here. A restart from the top of the arc, 27.5 feet away from Segu's goal. He's got a 3-man wall. Newsom runs off it. Donatelli measures it, plays it softly, shot by Morris, and again it's saved by Segu.
Yeah, read by the keeper, and look, off to the races.
Salenza at the other end. Pappas, I thought he got all ball, but no, they're going to send Pappas off and probably give him a shootout. He was the last man back. I thought he got ball, but Giuliano Salenza did go tumbling, so we'll see the replay.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Not only was Segu's save a great save for the keeper and the Blast, but with such force that shot was shot, it set up Salenza on the other end. Let's see here on the replay. Did he get all ball? No, I don't think so.
I think you're right.
I think he got the right ankle on the backside, and that's why the referee drew the blue card.
And this is going to be a shootout where they'll put the ball 50 feet away, and Nick Hovaker has to come in, a kid from Maryland, has to come in cold off the bench and face one of the most feared scorers in the league. He's staring him down from 50 feet away. This is not how you want your Friday night to begin.
Hovaker prepped at Chesapeake High School, which is in the Baltimore metro area. Just to set this up for the fans for a moment, Cabral will go one-on-one with the keeper. The ball is live. All the rest of the teams are along the midfield stripe. As soon as the referee blows the whistle, the ball's in play. The other players can come into play. One thing that Denison likes to do is kind of lift it over the keeper. Let's see what strategy he takes here. Will he lift it, or will he just pop and shoot? My opinion here is that he will lift it, try to lift it over Hovaker.
He's got 5 seconds to do whatever he's going to do. Hovaker's ready. Cabral's ready. This could be a key moment of this game. He does try to lift it over him. And he missed it. And did that? No, they're going to say no. No goal.
Wow, it's a great play by Pat Morris. Saved the goal along the back line with his knees, and it allows Hobacker now to.
Cabral now will lay it for Wakefield. Back to Cabral. 12 seconds left in the power play. Aristodemo sends it across. Cabral with 7 seconds. Aristodemo from distance. That one got deflected. Here's Cabral looking for his 12th, and he gets it just as the power play expires.
Far post, upper 90. You're not going to stop that one. And look at Dennison. When they're raising money for the U.S. Army tonight, he's saluting the fans. And Dennison Cabral with power play goal number 12. Peter Pappas back out on the field, but the Blast lead the game 8-0 here in the second quarter. And for Dennison Cabral and the Blast, the 28th power play goal of the season for Baltimore. Let's take a look at it on the backside. Upper 90, Hobacker had to come out because Cabral had all the real estate, and by the time he did it, the ball was past him.
For a guy who's 5'4", he really puts some power behind the shot, doesn't he?
He has got a foot, he's got a heart. 2 major knee surgeries, back-to-back seasons after the age of 30, have not slowed down one of the great.
Won a title last year and are scrapping here tonight. First trying to get on the scoreboard in hopes of getting into the postseason party once again.
Philadelphia just got granted a team in the outdoor MLS, so that's a rich, vibrant soccer market up there.
Here's Donatelli now. He runs over the ball. Susi to Newsom and hits D'Ambra, who finds the back of the net. At first I thought, boy, Newsom really didn't hit that very well, but it was perfectly played to D'Ambra.
3 touches. And you know what? If you're Philly, whatever it takes. And you don't often see that in the game. Usually you would assume that Newsom in that position would take the shot. But the defender came out to guard him, and that left Don D'Ambra all alone. Let's see it here. Susi the 1-touch, and then Newsom finding D'Ambra at the doorstep. Goes far post on Segu, and at least for the moment, there's some life with Philadelphia.
And the 11th restart goal allowed by Baltimore this year, tops in the league. So if they're vulnerable, that's advantage play. Flick it out to Aristodemo. Shot goes off the glass. Lucio is there. He nearly put it. It goes off. Pat Morris and in.
And again,
Lucio's going to get credit for that, but Pat Morris knows it's an unlucky bounce.
Well, it is an unlucky bounce, but it's all created by pressure from the Blast. They've owned the box in Philadelphia's end. Anywhere Peter Pappas turns, it looks like there's a Blast player right now. And until and unless that changes, the result won't change. There's Lucio, and of course, Pat Morris didn't want it to go that way, but the pressure from the Blast leads to the goal. It's tough when a big veteran, a savvy veteran like Pat Morris.
To go. Revilla off the crossbar. And Salenza dumps it long, chested out at midfield there by Susi. Donatelli, 20 seconds left. Try to feed D'Ambra. He'll pop back up. Shot blocked, but a foul call.
Well, that's probably the last chance Philly will have this half with only 14 seconds to go. And it looks like the Blast will go into the halftime with an 8-point lead.
Free kick Baltimore.
Blast play like this with the khaki uniforms, they may do it more often.
Yeah. Although they're going to order some more because they're auctioning them off after the game. Some lucky fans are going to have them.
Wow.
They set up his man Pappas with the last save of the first half. And Salenza looks up at the scoreboard and puts his hands on his knees because he knows he missed a chance right there at the horn. That man, Dennison Cabral, has 2 goals. And we're halfway through the major indoor soccer league game of the week. The Blast and the Kixx head to the locker rooms with the Blast leading Philadelphia 10-2. We got interviews, stats, highlights, and more coming up. But first, this quick timeout. You're watching the MISL on Fox Soccer Channel, where the homestanding Baltimore Blast have had a great first half against their I-95 rivals, the Philadelphia Kixx. Easy goals like that have staked them to an 8-point lead at the intermission. Our halftime show is coming right back. Stick around. You're watching the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week exclusively on Fox Soccer Channel. Halftime at First Mariner Arena in Baltimore with the hometown blast leading the Philadelphia Kixx 10-2 on the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Ken Tomash and Gary Stein with you. And Gary, we talked about how important it was for the Kixx to come out and win this game because they're trying to get into the playoffs. That first half, it looked like Baltimore was the team that was struggling to get into the playoffs and really needed and wanted this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Blast would even allow Philadelphia to even think about winning this game right at the start of the game. I mean, you saw the pressure that Peter Pappas was under, the way that Baltimore was controlling the midfield and basically peppering the goal, and it didn't let up for the first 30 minutes. Philly tried to get back in that game with that restart goal to make it 8-2, but the response from the Blast was another goal, and all of a sudden it's 10-2 at the half, and Philly's in a very precarious position.
Now, Philadelphia this week, they signed Casey Barton, a veteran defender. You know, you don't forget a whole lot when you're trying to play mix and match at the back. They've been unlucky, but defensively, you know, they've been a little bit shaky because Baltimore, I mean, 5 goals there in that first half. Philly needs to shore up the back.
Yeah, and it's hard for a guy like Casey Barton. I mean, you think about it, these players that are playing all year long, they play 23 games. You know, here comes Casey Barton. He could be in great shape, but he does look like he's in good shape. Doesn't mean that he's in game shape. But then the most important thing is he's probably at least a half a step behind. And when you're playing a team like Baltimore that smells the playoffs after not making the playoffs last year, and you've got the speed that they bring downfield, especially guys like Millwood, Neto, etc., it's hard for a guy like Casey Barton to make a big impact in that first game.
Obviously, not to pin anything on Casey Barton. It's a team game, and Baltimore has had some great goals. We saw 2 by Denison Cabral that were just magic.
Well, Cabral is the finisher, and he's always been the finisher in Baltimore. You know, there was a thought back in the old NPSL days in the mid-90s when Cabral was playing in the CISL with the Washington Warthogs. He tried out for the NPSL, and there was a guy who told him, you know what, I don't think you're big enough to make it in this league. Well, a couple of years later, Denison Cabral did make it in the league, and 11 years later, he's one of the top scorers in the league.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk with David Bascome, assistant coach and player for the Baltimore Blast, about his off-the-field work. It's all coming up here on the MISL Game of the Week, where the Blast lead the Kixx 10. Fox Soccer Channel. The best soccer in the world, indoor and outdoor, is right here on Fox Soccer Channel. Tomorrow morning, it's the Barclays Premier League. Blackburn against America's team, Fulham. 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's tomorrow right here on Fox Soccer Channel. Well, here we're at First Mariner Arena in Baltimore with the Blast leading the Philadelphia Kixx 10-2 on the MISL Game of the Week. Now, the Major Indoor Soccer League prides itself on the work it does in its communities. It's 9 communities around the U.S. and Mexico. And a lot of that is happening right here tonight, where the Blast are playing in those Army camouflage jerseys, and they'll auction off to benefit the families of those servicemen and women who've been injured while fighting for our country overseas. Also, they do a lot of other work in the community, the Blast does, and Gary Stein caught up with David Bascome of the Baltimore Blast for his take on some of that work.
David, your exploits on the field are legendary, over 1,000 points scored, but let's talk about some of the things that you do off the field.
Yes, off the field, you know, definitely with the Baltimore Blast, we have a program that's called Power by Me, and Power by Me is set up, you know, against young people for, you know, against steroids, you know, and drugs, and it's very important that they understand, you know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of these young athletes, you know, they want to take the easy way out, and they think that's the easiest way to be successful. And it's important, the message going into schools, going into communities, you know, dealing with the young people, you know, it's got to do with the clubs of soccer, so it's great.
Now, not only in Baltimore, but you give back to your hometown as well.
Definitely. No, we have started the ISL, the Professional Island Soccer League in Bermuda, and we got a program that was started in 2008. It's actually called the Hope for Life program. The Hope for Life program is against drugs and violence, and also is kind of to give, you know, the young man, you know, also women, those opportunities, you know, to succeed. We all have these dreams when we're young, and to have these dreams and kind of, you know, to be able to reach them, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know, to make sure they stay focused.
Now, it takes a special person to do these types of things. What motivates you in your life to do that?
You know, I think it was a lot to do with my father. You know, my father basically has been behind me, you know, and kind of showed me wonders independence, so it was very important. You know, so that's one of my biggest motivations.
All right, sounds good. Hope to see you back on the field soon.
Thank you.
Ken, back to you.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Blast without David Bascome, but they hope to get him back quick. Lead the Philadelphia Kixx 10-2 at halftime. We'll have more on the halftime show from First Mariner Arena on Fox Soccer Channel coming up after this
game with an assist and the beginning of another assist that went to Wakefield. But what's interesting is that Michele Millwood has not scored a point in this game, yet the Blast still are outscoring Philadelphia 10-2.
Well, David Bascome, assistant coach, was with us at halftime. He's with us now. David, is that some of the best 30 minutes of soccer your team has played this year?
Yeah, you know, it's great, you know, where you can come out, you know, score 10 points. You know, but we still got some work to do. You know, we have to stay consistent, which is very important, and we have to take, you know, just control of the game.
David, how important was the 12-day layoff here for the Blast at this point in the season?
I tell you, it was great because we had some injuries. To get some guys back healthy, was very important for us.
Now, this first 5 minutes, David, of the third quarter, how important is it going to be for you guys to not let Philly claw back into this?
Well, very important. We have to step up. We have to play together as a team, and we have to make sure that we stay consistent to what we're doing. Once we lose the floor of the game, then we get lost.
David, thanks for your time. Best of luck second half.
All right, thank you.
David Bascome, a class act, a terrific player. Glad he's with us as Danny Kelly's right-hand man.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that because you took the words out of my mouth. These guys really are a tandem. They were a tandem in Harrisburg when they played together for the Heat. They were a tandem in Baltimore when they won championships with the Blast. And now they're a tandem behind the bench. David, as we heard in the halftime interview, starting to do some things for his native country, Bermuda, bringing soccer back there, and just a great tandem they are here in Baltimore.
And Danny Kelly seems to have found his stride as a coach. I'm sure David Bascome has helped him, but the Blast were up and down a little bit. I mean, missing the playoffs last year obviously hurt him, and then they got off to the great start this year, and then they struggled a bit, but he's, to his credit, Pappas had it go, couldn't get it quite. Oh, he's burying the back of the net. Oh, Lucio with his second. A rare misplay by Peter Pappas. And Millwood make it the easiest assist of his season.
And what a finish by Lucio with that booming right foot. The rookie out of Brazil, playing in only his 16th game, now has 11 goals, 2 tonight. You talk about all the weapons the Blast have, and here's the replay. Millwood on the turnover from Pappas, and boom, he knows what to do with it. There's no keeper in the land that's going to make that save, and Lucio now gives the Blast a 10-point lead.
And for Millwood, not only his 21st assist, but his 65th point, tying his career high set a year ago. Williams with the slide wins the ball for Baltimore.
This place is loud tonight, isn't it?
They have every reason to be. Here's Tom Myers trying to get outside, shot kicked away on the doorstep by P.J. Wakefield. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Myers has a go. Scramble for the ball in front, and Segu says, that's mine.
Yeah, takes on Newsom and makes the play. That and maybe one other save in the first half are the best plays that Segu has made.
Pappas came way out to play it to Myers. 11 seconds left in the quarter as Jonathan Steele's back from his descent penalty. Williams tried to send it through into the area. 5 seconds left. Cabral looks up, tries to catch Pappas off his line, but that'll be the end of the quarter. Well, Baltimore only scored 1 goal in that quarter, but they reasserted their dominance. 3 quarters down, 1 to go in Baltimore, and the Blast lead the Kixx 12-2. We're going to come back with the kickoff of the 4th quarter and the exciting conclusion of the MISL Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Don't touch that dial. We're going to come right back and see if the Blast can close it out next. He can just blow up from time to time. Donatelli now leads the break. Here's the Muskie. And Wakefield, easy as you please, strips him of the ball.
Great clear. Wakefield has an opportunity.
Pappas has to come out. And an easy goal from Wakefield to Aristodemo.
I mean, it's textbook. And it all started with defense. It started with defense in the midfield for the Blast. As they denied Philadelphia, they denied Namoski the Blast yellow line, and then all of a sudden the clear to Wakefield along the boards. Aristodemo is his runner on the left-hand side. Wakefield finds him. The team is unselfish. He'll settle for the assist and give Robbie the shot, and you'll see it here. Wakefield looking up at the midfield line, surveying the field, sees what he has to work with. Pappas had already committed. Easy left by Aristodemo. It's a 12-point lead.
8th goal of the year for Aristodemo and a 4-point night for the Canadian international. The 2-point goal and 2 assists.
Then got dinged in the head when he came back. Hobacker did a pretty good job. But when your leading goalkeeper and perhaps the best in the game today misses 7 games, that throws it off.
And Nelson makes him pay. He read that one perfectly. The Blast is Army strong, up 18-2.
Back post for Billy Nelson, who contributes. And all of a sudden, you look at the defenders here for the Blast tonight. Forget about the offensive players. Looking Land, defender, a goal. Wakefield, defender, a goal. Nelson, defender, there you see him getting the hug from Raul Marcel, a goal. Here's the replay. Philly just gets it. Neto sets him up, cross field. How does that happen? Nelson just beats Steele, and then Nelson finishes.
Yeah, Steele misplayed that one a bit. That's Nelson's third goal of the year. That one got deflected by Regis.
Yeah, both of those shots, I mean, Neto means it. The official call, by the way, on Johnny Steele, 2 minutes for charging, 5 minutes for dissent, and then the red card.
Into the final minute. And Sagu tells Wakefield to just let this one roll. That'll kill the penalty. So Baltimore will finish 2 for 3 on the power play. And the final 40 seconds here will tick off with the ball just hanging around in Baltimore's end.
I'll tell you what, usually inside 10 seconds is when the game is over. I don't think I've ever seen it inside 55 seconds, and now Philly.
Well, this game is over with...
well, I hear you.
Yeah, 5.5 minutes gone in the fourth quarter.
Well, the fans got their money's worth tonight.
The Blast is going to improve to 15-9. And the Kixx will fall to 11-15. They got some work to do if they're going to make the playoffs. But here in Baltimore, they are 11-2 now in First Mariner Arena. The final score, Baltimore 18, Philadelphia 2.
This late in the season, this could be the statement game for the Blast. There's still 5 games to go after tonight, actually 6. They're 15-9. But you know, you don't usually do this to Philadelphia. And the Blast have played well. They won 8 of 10 coming in. But this game tonight could be a statement to the rest of the league.
When you talk about statements, we're going to have some questions now for P.J. Wakefield, who joins us after a terrific night. A goal, 2 assists for your guys here as we wait till P.J. gets all set. P.J., what an effort team-wise. Can you really pick a most valuable player of tonight's game, or does it belong to everybody?
It was a total team effort. You know, everybody came out and, you know, everybody played. The defenders stepped up, scored some goals. The forwards did their stuff, checking back, playing defense, and, you know, not one guy. Sagu made a lot of saves, only gave up 1 goal, so total team effort.
PJ, I asked David at halftime how important that 12-day layoff was for you guys this late in the season. I mean, and I'll ask you the same question, but more importantly, I don't think I've seen you guys come out buzzing and with that desire it just seemed that you had tonight. You guys were winning every single ball out there tonight.
Well, we knew this was a big game for us to try to get into the playoffs. And, you know, we came out. We had that week off, so guys had their legs rested. We got some guys back from injuries. And it was good. Just a total team effort. Everybody had a lot of energy tonight.
BJ, Gary mentioned this could be a statement game for you guys. This is the time of year when you want to be playing your best. What kind of statement did the Blast make tonight?
Well, I think everybody knows what we can do. I think everybody knows that we got up top. Neto, Jules and Denny can score the balls. We got a lot of guys that, you know, we keep the ball in the net. We don't let teams score a lot of goals, and I think that's a big part of our team.
And now you've got 4 out of your last 6 on the road. Talk about that challenge.
It's definitely a challenge. You know, we're not the best team on the road. I think we got 4 wins this year on the road, and you know, we got to play better on the road, get some road wins, and we always play well at home. So hopefully get some road wins that carries into the playoffs. All
right, PJ, thanks. You guys did the Army jerseys proud tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
So the Blast get the big win tonight, and the key really was relentlessness, it seemed like. Let's take a look at the highlights. From the get-go, Sagu was a stalwart in the pipes, but really they just started off the great tone, and they kept it up the rest of the game.
Yeah, Neto started it off, finding Pierce. There's looking lane inside the box for goal number 2. And there's the man, P.J. Wakefield. Very selfish. Nice assist there to Denison Cabral. Aristodemo puts one towards goal here on the power play, setting up Denison Cabral on the back post there. The salute to the crowd upcoming. Philly now trailing 8-0. Tries to climb back into the game. Don D'Ambra off a set piece makes it 8-2. But here's the response from the Blast. Inside, the shot by Lucio goes off the boards and off Pat Morris into the back of the net. Aristodimos from Wakefield makes it, 12-2 at that point, and then the onslaught was on. Another power play opportunity here. Cabral finding Neto through the box, off the boards, into the back of the net. I believe that's Wakefield. Billy Nelson winning a ball in front of Johnny Steele, depositing that one into the back of the net. And by the time you add it all up, Glad handing all the way around the Blast. Look at that, 39-16. That will not happen often against Philadelphia.
Well, it did happen tonight, and so Baltimore wins the season series 3-1 against their I-95 rivals. They get their 15th win of the year. They've all but clinched a spot in the postseason. They still need a little bit of help, but the way they're playing, anything is possible, including yet another championship banner to go in the rafters here if they play like they did tonight.
Well, they've won 3 out of the last 5, and Philly won it last year, and you mentioned it, Ken, they got to go on the road. They've not been very well on the road, or they've not done very well on the road. They go to 2 tough places for them to play against 2 tough teams. California's never been easy for the Blast. Monterey hasn't been easy for anybody. So there's still a lot of soccer left to play. And let me tell you something. You get first or second in the league, you get a bye in the playoffs, another week of rest. Blast want that come April.
Well, they're going to have to battle Milwaukee and Detroit for that one as we're down to the last few weeks of the MISL season. Well, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Gary Stein and I have enjoyed bringing it to you, and boy, Baltimore fans sure enjoyed it as they beat the Kixx 18-2. Next Friday night, it's Orlando against Milwaukee at 8 o'clock Eastern. For Gary Stein, our producer-director Mike Senneman, and our entire crew, this is Ken Tomash, thanking you so much for watching, thanking you for watching all season long, and wishing you good night in Baltimore, Maryland, where the Blast beat up on the Kixx by a final score of 18-2. Follow the MISL all the way through to the finals. We'll be back next week with more. Good night from Baltimore.